Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for Sora no Woto, Sound of the Sky, Episode 2. I do not know at present, sitting here right now, whether we're going to watch episodes 2 and 3 or just episode 2, because I don't know whether Sora no Woto is going to be like a 1 episode per week type of show or like a 2 episode per week type of show. I usually play these things by ear, and usually I get a pretty good picture of it by the time we finish the first episode. I don't feel confident in falling on either side of that take at the moment. There's too much up in the air, and that's true on multiple levels with this show at the moment. There's way too much up in the air, way too much that we just don't know about the nature of the show and how we're going to progress moving forward. A big part of that is because episode 1s are traditionally a little bit different from the rest of the episodes, because you gotta throw a bunch of shit at the audience and get them hooked, otherwise they're never gonna watch episode 2, and then they're not gonna watch your show. And if they don't watch your show, they're never gonna buy your Blu-rays, so what are you doing? Okay, so episode 1s are usually different. We usually expect there to be a lot of stuff to talk about in an episode 1, and then for it to die down a little bit come episode 2, and at that point we can figure out whether we really want to do like 1 episode per week or 2 episodes per week. And for me, the distinction is there shit to talk about? Is there like an hour of shit to talk about? If there is, we're going to be watching an episode per week and doing all we can to find out all the information that we can so that we can talk about all the things that we can and figure out what the hell this show is. If it falls apart a little bit and becomes a little bit lighter, then maybe we won't do that. Maybe we'll go for 2 episodes a week and just go, yeah, we can take more info in because it's a little bit more spread out. We're enjoying the experience more than we want to be analyzing. And I don't know which side of things this show is going to fall upon. And the reason that I wanted to start this discussion at this point is because I think it's a perfect jumping off point for the state of the show at present. We've been introduced to a whole bunch of shit about the world, and at the same time it feels like we know nothing because all of the crucial details have been kept away from us. We don't know timing, we don't know the value of money, we don't know when paths diverged, if they diverged, we don't know the nature of the myths in this legend, we don't know how recent those myths are, we don't know how long ago the war was, we know that there's an amnesty now, so it's a recent thing that's been ended just for a short time, and what with the draft having ended and stuff, we get the impression that we're in an immediately post-war state, kind of Violet Evergarden-y in that sense, but what's our focus going to be? Is this a driven show? Are we goal-oriented? Or are we experience-oriented? I don't know. Because there are lots of elements of both. There are the goal-oriented elements of, like, find out what the fuck the mysteries are. Figure out all this shit. And also become a bugler. Those are goals. But then there are also the experiential things like the environmental shots and the dramatic focus on environments and scenery and backgrounds and community and culture and place and time and that kind of stuff. And all of that stuff leads me to think that this will be more experiential. But where do the two sort of mix and meld and become one? Where do we take the experiential stuff and say, this is also worth talking about? I don't really know, but I'm interested in exploring that kind of an idea and that kind of question about media as we progress in this particular show. It's an interesting one that is, on the face of it, already, after just 1 episode, extremely different from most shows that I've watched, and I'm really, really intrigued by that. I'm really intrigued by how it's going to go from here. I'm also super worried, because there are a lot of plates in the air now. There are plates about characters and their characteristics, and then there are plates about the world and the nature of things. And I'm really sad that I'm really scared, I should say, not sad, because I'm not sad yet or anything. I don't know if this is going to happen. I'm preemptively sad. But I do fear that some of those plates are going to fall. It's a lot to handle in one core of a show, and while I would love to understand more about the world and stuff, I have a sneaking suspicion that our characters aren't going to really care about investigating the world that much because they live in it. So we might not get the satisfaction of diving deep into the mysteries of their universe in the same way that an alien watching a show about humans might not be entirely satisfied when the human doesn't go and investigate the like underpinnings of how plant life functions, right? Like, the alien is just fascinated by trees, and it's like, stupid human, go look at the tree, look at it under a microscope, I want to understand. That's kind of what we're doing, or what I'm doing, what I feel like I'm doing when I'm looking at this. I'm like, go investigate that fucking skeleton. What is that giant bird thing? Are you joking? Tell me about this dragon monster that used to steal women. Please, I'm intrigued. Is that real? Is that a biomechanical construct used for warfare? What the fuck is going on here? But they don't care because it's all just normal to them, right? So maybe it'll just be normal to them and it'll just be backdrop. And that could still work. So, this is why I don't know how to feel about Sora no Woto yet. Because there are all these mysteries and all of these questions. They're not just questions about the show itself or the characters of the show or the world of the show. They're questions about, dear staff, what are you trying to accomplish here? And are you going to tip your hand and tell me what you're going to try to accomplish so that I can be looking forward to it? Or is it going to be a complete surprise as we move along? I don't know, and I don't know how to feel about any of it. So, just as there are many plates up in the air, my opinion on this show is completely up in the air. I found the first episode enjoyable. It was flawed. Absolutely. Plenty of flaws in it. I don't think it's amazing. I don't think it's super good. I don't think the production's very good, honestly. I think the production is really faulty. And I don't know if the decision to focus so much on the backgrounds really pays off yet. We'll see. We'll see. Obviously, there's a bit of a cult following around this. Obviously, people were deeply intrigued after the first episode. I discovered that apparently there was like a term birthed for this show called specula to cover all of the crazy speculations and thoughts and theories that people were coming up with. And while I have said many, many times that I'm not huge into theoryifying and stuff, it's just kind of a waste. I like to get more information before doing that. Like I'll constantly during episodes I'll throw out things that I'm thinking and then just move along from those. Like I don't really put any stock into my own theories usually because I'm usually wrong and I'm okay with that. But there's like a whole body of people who were theory crafting every episode. So maybe part of the experience of Sora no Woto is that weekly wait, that weekly wonder and, oh, what's going to come next? What does this actually mean? Oh, fuck, it's nothing. I don't know. In any case, we've been introduced to a world which I will say is, at present, the primary character of Sora no Woto. We've also been introduced to some piddly humans who exist within this world, namely a group of women who have enlisted as members of the military to be part of the bastion of, First Light, Dawn's Calling. It's got some name that has to do with Dawn. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. It probably matters. It's probably super critical to something. It doesn't matter. It's the bastion of fucking sunrise and shit. That's them. And they're a not religious, but faith-oriented, militaristic thing, which also makes me question the nature of society and, like, are we in a monarchy? Are we in a theocracy? Are we, what is this place? What is this place? Yeah, what kind of social structure are we in? Because there's no indication about it, and it just isn't. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a theocracy. I think that one would line up the most, just because of how inundated daily life seems to be with religion or ceremony. It's more ceremony than religion at the moment. It's mythological and spiritually, but ceremonial. Like, we have to do this for a reason. The ceremony with the mask and the demon and the playing it out and the splashing of water and the ceremonial festival, the ceremonial nature of the festival with the dyed water and throwing it and casting it upon each other and saying thank you. That's ritualistic. There's something to that. There's deep history and roots in this world. Anyway, we've been introduced to these group of piddly humans. There's this girl named Kanata. She's stupid. I mean, she's not stupid, but she has perfect pitch, and she's a goober. I use the term goober for characters like this, like Yui and Komiko and Ibiki and think of more goobers, Dekamori and goobers. They're goofballs. There are Go with the Wind, Leaf on the Wind. Oh, not Leaf on the Wind. Nothing ever bad happens to someone who's a leaf on the wind. Sorry, too soon. No, but that's what they are. Yeah, yeah. They're goobers. Then we've got Rio. I think her name is Rio. If I fucked up her name, then we're screwed. She's blue. She's gonna be our mentor. She's gonna be our closest character. There are elements of her that remind me strongly of multiple secondary Kyoto Animation deuteragonists. Mio, Rio. There's some similarity. Toko, Mio, or Togo, Rio. Well, there's some similarity. There are some characters that she reminds me of distinctly, and we'll see if she continues to fit those archetypes. So far, so good. These characters have not strayed from their archetypal outlines very much so far. Kanata has been pretty consistently a optimistic Pollyanna-esque goober. Rio has been pretty consistently kind of I don't really want to, but all right, I'm actually an okay person. And relatively genuine, but kind of Ice Queenie, Mio-ish and Reina-ish, that mixture, yeah. Okay, then there's Felicia. She is blonde, has big boobas, and seems to be a bit older than the rest of the girls. She is the wise but also sneaky type. She kind of runs things so far. We got this impression that she fucked with the lots and made sure that Rio was the one chosen because she thinks she's better for it. So she thinks she knows what's good for everybody and runs things. We'll see if that ends up ever being sinister. I don't get that vibe from her. She seems well-meaning, and again, it's kind of hard not to draw some conclusions and draw some equivalencies to Mugi and just be like, she's a lot like Mugi. Okay, cool. Then there is the little one whose name I don't know. I just don't know her name. She's a bit of a brat. She's also voiced by Karen. I fucking love her, and I want a lot more. A lot more. Yes. And then the character that we've seen the least of, who is voiced by Aoyuki, who is the Tonk girl. I don't really know anything about her except that she was working on some big mechanical thing that we call a spider, which I assume is a spider tank because spider tank. Ta-da! And yeah, she's a mechanical donkey girl who says weird things to herself occasionally. I don't really know what those are about, but she does. Okay. Where do we go from here? Do we just focus on, we're hanging out at the Bastion, this is what's around, we're bugling and making fun of Kanata for not being able to bugle? Or is something else going to arrive into the story that shakes things up big time? That could be very interesting. Kanata's currently the mysterious transfer student. If we got another mysterious transfer student, that would work, but it would be weird. So I'm not expecting a mysterious transfer student, but something else could happen to get things moving. The cue ball needs to hit, and Kanata doesn't feel like a cue ball to me. She doesn't feel like she's got enough momentum to change things. Now, that could be the case. She could be a flat character. This could be a static story and not a directional story. I don't really know. Okay, now I'm in blather territory of just I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. We're in Seiza. It's a town. We're gonna learn how to bugle. We're going to become the best goddamn bugler that has ever goddamn lived. And maybe we'll find out some answers about some of the mysteries of our world. Cool? Cool. Let's get into it. Oh yeah, also Gustav Klimt. I am aware. Okay? Okay. I'm not even going to go further into that. It's just yeah, all right, okay, cool. Chill, Areno. All right, let's go. I've got episode 2 of Sora no Woto up and ready to go. It is sitting at 0 seconds. There will be 2 versions of this reaction. You can find a picture-in-picture version of the video there, linked in the description, and a timer-based version up on YouTube. If you'd like to do a sync thing and sync up your own copy of the episode with the timer-based version up on YouTube, you are welcome to do so. Just get your copy ready because the BPU timer to count you down will be coming at you. And now, and I'm using the Naughty Elysium subs. Cool. Boom. And most of them are from the same frieze. The same wall art. And then there are pieces that are blended. Like the woman there is from medicine. It's a study on medicine. And then the background is from the Beethoven thing. Yeah. It's interesting. Interesting set of choices. And it really does give me vibes of those particular stylistic, like, ukiyo-es of Monogatari. And then that's another one. And then that one. Regardless, it's super unique and very intriguing. So we're just picking up where we left off. Hey, that's the one I used for the photo of the thumbnail and stuff. Yay! Yeah, good idea. Good idea. Nope. Yeah, this is how. This is how you do that. 40 hours. Ling ling. Hello, Brett. Just okay. That's a very Yui thing to do. Just saying. Also that. Shit. Don't fall over that, please. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, hi. Eye contact. Thanks. Fuck. No. No. First battle, talk of a chair. Nope. Nope, I've had experiences with chairs. Nope. I've seen enough Critical Role. Nope. Nope. Okay, I'm joking. So we saw a ghostly figure with dark hair and a white thing that looks like the Ring Girl. I'm going to assume that it's the... Could it be Tank Girl? Probably not. White hair. No way, dude. The how. Important. Oh, you're sitting in the wrong chair. Oh boy, you've usurped her position. Yeah. Uh-oh. Oh, good night, Noelle. Felicia. Cool. Noelle, wake up. Ah, well. Nope, she's just yeah. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Yeah, got a little bit of a pout there. Of course you are. Fair. Why was she pushing herself so hard? Okay. Very nice to meet you, I guess. So, by the end of this episode, we're going to become closer to her. To Kureha. Because she hates us right now. Fuck yeah. Ha. Ha. Okay. Disappointed. Oof. Yeah. Wait, I wanted a real job. Fuck. So we are the bottom rung, and you're holding that over her. Uh-huh. The minimum required, just like a school club? Interesting. I don't believe you at all. mm. Mm. Can we see them? Can we see them? We could figure out what guns. And this border has been attacked how often? Jesus. Okay, no. And a code book, okay. Yeah, fair enough. Well, how long has it been since it's gone off? A few decades? It's not gonna go off. Okay. Absolutely forbidden. Oh, but nobody really cares. Yeah, okay. So this is great because by having her take this all so seriously, it just kind of shows us how lax their situation really is. As she's like, "I insist that you treat me with respect while I tell you about the baths." Oh fuck! Of course it is. Looking real cute. She's all tired. Okay, you got to stop being so nice to everybody. You dote on everyone, all that stuff. Blah blah blah. Right? Yep. Oh, hi Noel. Go sleep. Yep. Go sleeping time. Or are you staring at something in particular that I should be noting? That was really there. That was really there. It's an MBT? Okay, but it is weird. Takemi. She is. Show us the whole thing. Wides, wides, wides. Info, info, info. Legs. Ah. Ah, there we go. There we go. We're pausing. Yeah, how do you figure? Mm-hmm. Oh. Ah. Ah. I feel weird about that. I feel very weird about that. That there was a lot of unexplained subtext right there. The ghost. I wonder if it's a person, like the equivalent of a stowaway living in abandoned buildings and trying to survive. Yeah, what if? Not a mysterious transfer student, a weirdo. Somebody strange. Is it? Of course she was. Yeah, you did. uh. Okay, she's a bit of a scaredy cat. Very fun. That's how we can make a connection. We found a weakness. Okay, okay, okay. Absolutely not. Nice angle. But yes. Oh, sorry. They definitely don't exist. Go forth. because she's too scared. We're slipping. It's kind of fun. Yep. The fuck is wrong with you? Yeah. No. Aw. Uh. Uh. You go first. All right. Now let's make this spooky before we undercut it and demonstrate that it's not actually spooky. Let's make it. Oh my god, it's a classroom. Oh my god, they're in an old school. Ha ha ha. I don't think that really works for a European setting to have. Okay, whatever. This track though. Desks. Wait, what is that? I can't read that. I can't read that. Neither can she. Perspective. And a different culture. Chair. Just shoot that fucking mouse. Blow it away. Oh shit. The owl. That was the owl, wasn't it? And that's their symbol. Oh, another chair. Cool. That's correct. Oh, we do see their guns. I'll be trying to find that. Not anymore. There aren't enough people. How large is humanity? Someone's name written on the blackboard. You are correct. You are correct. Music and military. The musical notes are still the same notation. Perfect pitch. She can recreate music. Whoa. Those uniforms though. Pollyanna as fuck. Yes, but that's a very good conclusion to draw. You're rather. Hello, owl. Don't shoot that owl. Fucking owl. Please tell me you didn't actually hit the owl. Oh my god. So those are bolt action. Mauser? I don't know if that's just a word that came into my head and I don't know why. Wait. I don't actually buy that at all. Yeah, it's the same owl. So we have a pet now. Dink, dink, dink. All of us are the same. Okay, it has a name now. Of course you do. But you had fun. But you had fun, right? Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Mm-hmm. That's not a thing that birds can do. Okay. I'm sorry, what? What? Oh. Hmm. Oh. Chair. Ah. Baka. Okay. Are we actually supposed to believe that the ghost was just the owl? Seems really difficult to buy that they would both. That works a lot better if we don't get to see it, because they drew a fucking ghost. That's a weird choice. That's a very strange choice. I mean, it's like not even. It's not an important thing in the episode. So we have moved one notch on the sliding scale from Tsun Tsun to Dere Dere with Koreha. And we also implied some Yuri stuff. Just a little bit. Like, not a lot, just a little bit. It does make me wonder if there's an ulterior motive here from Felicia and Rio, because they're older. Is there a little preview thingy? There is. Rio runs? Like runs away or goes for a 5-mile jog? Or runs the people? Okay, shit, there are a lot of elements here. There are so many things. There are so many things. Alright, I'm gonna need to take a minute to just gather thoughts. Okay. So I've gone through and I've written a bunch of shit down, and now I'm like looking for details that I don't want to spend time looking for. So I don't know why it popped into my head. Maybe like some first-person shooter or something where I've used that kind of a bolt-action rifle. But when I saw a bolt-action rifle, I was like, okay, Mauser? So I went and I goggled it. And I found the Gewehr 98, G98, which looks quite a bit like it. Made by Mauser, firing cartridges from a 5-round, blah, 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 blah. German service rifle from 1898 to 1935, when it was replaced by the Karabiner 98K, a shorter weapon using the same basic design. And as it is using the same basic design, it looks very similar. The bolt action-y part of it looks more like the Karabiner, but that gives us a bit of a time and date sort of thing, kind of, but it's weird. Okay, we can assume that the guns that they have are probably pre-war as well, right? Along with the tank and stuff. But that raises a weird question. We're dealing with rifles that are either the 1898 to 1935 standard issue German infantry rifle, or the standard issue rifle post 1935. Either way, we're in just before or in World War II. Okay. But then we have a tank that is obviously futuristic. Or at least alternately techy, right? We don't have spider tanks in present day with legs. We don't do that. And they referred to it as a main battle tank, so it was like a main tank, a normal one. There are only 10 of them. It's a zero-gen tank, and they're more powerful than any that we can create now with the technology that we understand now. So much of that is lost to time. Very curious. Very curious. I must say, that is very curious, because we've got this weird mix of future and past, and what the hell? I don't know. I don't know. Okay. I want to go find the pictures of the ghost. I want to find all the points where we see the ghost, because I don't buy it. I don't buy that that owl is the solution. It feels like we're being faked out and that that ghost still exists. I don't know, but it really does. Okay, so she looks out. We get this. This is great. I love this little moment. That's character right there. That is absolutely character. Okay, so she looks and she sees a humanoid, which then floats away. Okay. And then Noelle looks and she sees even more closely. I don't know where that is, actually. That's not an owl. It has clothes on. It has hair. That's not an owl. Okay, and then I didn't notice it, but there were a bunch of lightning flashes. Right? I feel like there might have been something hidden in them, because there was that like window in the room. I didn't notice, but I know that I blinked a couple times when the lightning flared. Not here, not here. Okay, the chair that matches. And that's where she sees it and notices it. This is where we find the room, the music. You motherfuckers. You motherfuckers. They lied to us. Oh my god. Dude, there's a ghost. Dude, there's a ghost. Okay. What does this mean? What does this mean? This doesn't mean anything, does it? Fuck. Shit, we can't. I don't know. Because then my theory about there being a human just like trying to live in there and like living off rats and stuff, Smeagol style, is gone because that was a ghost. Okay. Meta question. What do ghosts mean? It's a weird meta question. It's one that I'm bringing up because Natsume. What do ghosts mean? Well, how else would you use the term ghost except to refer specifically to like a specter of a dead person? Ghosts of the past, ghosts of culture, ghosts of history, ghosts of a salt marsh. No, that's a D&D campaign. Ghosts. To my mind, they've entered a world full of ghosts, right? This school, apparently. Ghosts of a history that they can never understand. Maybe. There's an element of that here. There's a symbolic element to it. Unfortunately, that symbolic element falls apart when you actually show a visual of a ghost. So I think this is a really fucking weird decision, honestly. If we are meant to believe that our characters just mistook Shuko for a ghost, then we should never, ever, ever show it on camera. Ever. That's classic filmmaking stuff, right? Like, never. Takes all the fun out of it. And more importantly, we don't see a thing that looks like a strange shape that could be an owl or could be a ghost. We see a fucking ghost. So either we're in like an unreliable camera, which is not something you should do. You just should not, unless you very, very clearly indicate that we are inside the eyes and mind of a character. We are looking out through their eyes and seeing what they think they see. Otherwise, what we see on screen must be accurate. It must be what is happening. There must be reality. Otherwise, we can't take it seriously. So, is there a ghost? Show, is there a ghost? The show says no. There was no ghost. It was just the owl. But then the show shows a ghost. So what's the truth? I don't know. I'm intrigued by this. I'm intrigued by the decision that's been made. I really hope that it comes up again. If it doesn't, I'm going to consider that a mistake. Like, that's wrong. That's not how you do that. But I will hold off on that judgment for now because I get the feeling that maybe this will come up in the future. If it doesn't, I'm a little miffed. It's a little wonk. But if it does, then this could be really great. It's up in the air. Okay. Tank tech. Books. Guns. Books. Okay, they find a book. I don't know what it was meant to be. Like a journal? Kind of? Something like that. Actually, let me go find the cover of it and just see if I can figure it out. Is it like a yearbook? Is it a journal? What is it supposed to be? There is the interesting moment that she says, oh, it's ideograms, which is to say that to her it's essentially hieroglyphics, right? She recognizes that these are characters that mean things, and kanji are ideograms. They're drawings made, stylized, turned into words and representations of stuff. But she can't read kanji, and all of the language that like has been presented to us has been mostly French. In the contract that she signed, or the order that she signed, and in the map on the wall had all different numbers of towns, I think, and then Seize is 16, so their number 16. And then there was like Dinuf, Dis, I don't remember how to pronounce that, from Die Buster. But I did see that and kind of go, wait a second, are we Die Buster referencing? We're not, we're just having French numbers. Aww. Sad. Very sad. But maybe? No. Okay, I would like to know what this says. Unfortunately, I also cannot read kanji. That's where I stopped my formal Japanese training, because we got to kanji and I noped the fuck out because no, please no. So I'm gonna just like try and figure out what this says. Shit. Yeah, I have no idea. Hey, Japanese speakers, what does that say? Just the cover of it. Is it somebody's name? I don't think it's somebody's name. Does it say like the school, or this is a notebook? Diary, do not open? I don't know. Also, I'm sure that somebody has gone and translated some portion of what is available here, because it's very intriguing. And I'm sure that somebody's gone and done it. Wouldn't it be wonderful to be able to read it, though? And here we get into some of the core of the episode, which I actually don't want to touch on yet. I want to go back. I want to go back to Kureha and stuff. Character and stuff. Okay, Kanata still sucks. Teach me properly. Yep, the proper way to teach you is to take the horn away and just give you the mouthpiece so that you don't make too much noise. And you suck. But she keeps going. Okay, we see the ghost. It's spoopy. And breakfast. We got a dope spread. It's awesome. It's lovely. And chairs. Okay, so A stool is brought over, and Rio uses... No, she sits on the stool. That's Rio Senpai's spot? Position? She brings the stool over. I see. Okay. So they would sit across from each other 2 and 2. Rio would sit next to Kureha. They would all sit in the same chairs. Now there's a new person. Rio has moved to the head of the table. Kanata is now sitting in Rio's position, which is an imposition and a stealing of a spot, especially for Kureha, who likes sitting next to Rio because she likes her. And it's weird. But that gets turned into a I approve and accept you by finding an identical chair and adding you to the group. It's actually very equivalent to Natsume going and getting the teacups in Yuujinchou just a few episodes ago. Okay, I just had to line up the mechanics of that, like what was stolen from who and why is Kureha pissed about this, what's going on, and now I understand. Also, they seem to make a lot of good food, which is awesome. And we introduce ourselves, and there's this weird contrast that's immediately apparent. She says, "Tank Commander, there's no tank." Okay. Let's have a great time together. I look forward to working with you. Noelle's a goober. All right. Moving along, and yeah, I'm the gunner. I still have seniority over you. You'd better listen to what I say. Now, why was Noelle pushing herself so hard? That's the big question for me. Because from what we know, there is no chance that they're going to be able to repair this tank unless something changes, correct? They don't have the parts. They haven't been able to get the parts. They don't get replacements or shipments. They're not a priority for the military or for the government, so they're not going to be able to repair the tank. But she's still slaving over it. Why? Maybe something to investigate in a Noelle-focused episode. Maybe next episode. That could be cool. Could be very cool. All right. This doesn't need to be here, and I find it distasteful. Just this. Eat and grow strong. And then she eats the bacon, and she looks at boobs. This is a really classic thing that lots of shows do, especially cute girl shows, especially groups of girl shows, especially when there's a younger character amongst older or more mature physically characters. They just do it every fucking time. It's such an old joke. Like, I don't even mind the sentiment of it, that, like, breast envy is possible and, like, can exist. I don't mind that. I just don't like the joke. It's not funny. It's predictable and blech. It's trite and cliche. Blech. And this isn't even a situation where I'm like mad about fan service or whatever, which will happen sometimes. It hasn't happened in this show yet, which is nice. This is a shitty joke, and writers should stop writing this joke into their stories. That's my opinion. Like, when was the last time you saw an iteration of the "she has bigger boobs than I do" joke and been like, haha, that was real funny? Maybe the first 2 times you saw it. Wonk. All right, so she's immediately super happy to be given a something to do. Ah, fuck. Ah, shit. Not that. Anything but that. Okay, so we get into it. It's pretty great. Kureha definitely got some plus points in this episode, leaning fully into the Tsuen and then eventually into a little bit of the Dere. Very fun. Okay, flags. Yeah, we've talked about symbolism before. There's really nothing. They're realistic enough to look real, but not close enough to any real flag or anything to actually be like an intentional association. The show is trying to walk a line between, like, this place looks like a particular town in Spain, but it's set in kind of France, and all of the language on all the paper is French, but the history seems to be kanji. What the fuck is going on? It's just staying in this middle amorphous ground of, like, yeah, you're not gonna be able to pin down exactly when or where or how this shit happened. It's weird, and the characters don't know. All of that is lost to time. Good luck. Okay, sure, fine, sure, yeah. All right, total of 5, and she is mad. But she introduces us to the comms and stuff, and the important thing. There is a no man's land up past the mountains, and we are the far border to it. However, we are not the border against, like, a threatening other nation. We're the border against a wild wilderness, right? where people don't go. We don't know anything about No Man's Land. We can assume that maybe some of the scenes that we've seen of destruction and death and stuff might be in No Man's Land, but it's also really interesting, I think, that this map extends all the way to the borders, to the sides of the map, because that's No Man's Land up there. We don't get to see any ocean boundaries. If we could see any coastline, for example, if this line here were not into No Man's Land, but we're into a coast, we could say, oh, maybe this is the Iberian Peninsula, and maybe we're looking at Spain, France, and stuff. But it's not, so we can't. It's careful not to give us too much information. Okay, so we also take stock of everything we have. 5 people, 1 tank, 1 heavy machine gun, 2 light machine guns, and 4 rifles. Not a lot. Not a lot. At all. Our mission is to maintain the national border of all of whatever. Ah, yes, so important. What an important role. And she just takes it in stride. Never making fun of it. Never interested. Never, like, questioning or anything. Yes, it is the No Man's Land. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. So this is our national border. And this is the crucial hotline. I really love this moment where she explains the hotline and how it works and all that stuff. And then they just sort of stare at it for a while, like, oh, is it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen? No, it's not gonna happen. It probably hasn't rung ever. Ever. And it all falls apart a little bit. All this stuff is very important, but also not important at all. And again, her seriousness and her like insistence that you need to take this seriously sort of just highlights how lax they really are and how obvious it is to the people here that they're doing busy work. They're hurrying up and waiting. They're not useful. So now I think this has given our show some direction. How do our girls become useful? How do they feel fulfilled? Because we mention it a few too many times in this episode. We're just a useless band up here in a weird bastion. Okay, what if something amazing comes out of that? The rejects creating something important or rediscovering something of lost value is a classic story. The outcasts who redeem themselves by finding fire, right? It's a story. And it's a story with mythological, like, backing to it that makes a lot of sense. There's this position that these 5 girls, as the analogs of the Maidens of Fire who saved everybody, will, in the same way, potentially save everybody, but in a different way. A way that has to do with music. And I think I have a theory about how. One of the only big things that we know about Kanata, besides her optimism and gung-ho-ness, is she has perfect pitch. What's perfect pitch useful for? Transcribing music? Figuring out how musical notation works? Could she rediscover music as it was? Maybe. That could be really interesting. She doesn't have the tools yet to do it, right? She doesn't have the ability to play it. But she can grok it. It's interesting. It's an interesting thought. But we'll see. Yeah, order of rank, am I right? Well, it would be, but actually everybody goes together. Okay. This raises an expectation that there will be an all-together bath scene. I don't know if I like that. We'll see. I do think that Felicia in her little, like, I'm cleaning today outfit is super cute, and I dig it. Keep being serious and captain-like. We need you to keep up appearances. Gosh. And there's a ghost. And there's this scene. Okay, we talked through this scene because I paused for it because I thought it was really good. This is the sequence where our relationship with Kureha begins to change because she finally reveals her, like, core to us. It's shell, 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 wall, 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 ice, 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 until we see her passion here. And her passion is for the group, for them, for the tank. Her passion is to not be less than. And she's in awe of all of it. Okay, here's a different anime character that is the same character. Okay? We're in a sports anime, let's say volleyball. Kureha is a second year, all the third years are the core best members of the team. The third years graduate. Kureha is left as the only one who cares. Kureha is trying to get their squad to keep going, but nobody will respect them because they actually suck. Right? Actually, also, Hibike. Literally the same thing happens. Literally the same thing happens in Hibike. That's the kind of character that we're dealing with. One who has an almost reverence for their elders and their senpais and stuff, but is then at the same time struggling with the obstacle of, like, we're just not good enough and we don't have the resources necessary to be good enough. Fuck. Yeah. Yeah. So we are careful to not show enough of it to really give us an impression until we question it. They're really amazing tanks, but her legs, right. And out to the wide we go, so we see it's in disarray. And she starts listing these off as though they're excuses. She's being repaired. There aren't enough parts. We hardly get shipments. Like, it's not our fault. We just can't. We don't have enough people to play in a real match. It's not our fault that we can't practice. It's not our fault that we can't get good. None of our teammates are even showing up to practices anymore. They don't care. I'm the only one who cares. That's the vibe. I mean, it's true. We don't have the manual, and we can't find any of the parts, but... And it's the demo. Cut. Cut. Hold. Cut. Hold. Cut. Perfect. Perfect. This sequence is the best one in Sora no Woto so far. Just for conveying information and stuff. It's so good. This is so good. It's so fucking good. Ah! Alright. I think on that note, I'm gonna jump and look for episode director, because I'm curious. Kanbei storyboarded it. Takayuki Tanaka directed it. Variety of things. Nothing super standout. Okay. No new information. Cool. Someday she'll definitely. There are other elements to this scene that make it work really well as well. The water is really good, sound-wise. The rain and the occasional drips and drops that drip through the roof and hit like metal and stuff, which make distinctive noises. There's also stuff like this moment where Kureha puts her hand on the tank side. I believe that there is a resounding, like, small bung from it. Little things like that create a lot of verisimilitude. They're really important. Dong. Yeah. So there's emphasis on that kind of detail and stuff still. It's still holding and it's good. There's also some good character animation, just showing Kureha getting really fucking mad. And then out to the wide for a shot, which is fun. Okay, then we have this conversation. I'm intrigued by it. Seems they're getting along quite well, blah, blah, blah. There's, subtext to that. It's reminiscent to us when we first met. Okay. And then, guess so. And then, still I'm a bit troubled. And then she says, despite appearances, she's a sharp girl. She might have picked up on something. What are they trying to hide from them? Are they just trying to hide the uselessness of the unit? Or is it more than that? Or are they hiding something else? Okay, I get multiple possibilities from this. One is that headquarters sends useless people to this bastion, and that's maybe the thing. The other is, I don't think so. There's some kind of romantic thing going on between Felicia and Rio. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm just gonna discount that one and throw it away. Another might be, is Rio leaving? Is Rio leaving? I don't know why I get that vibe, but I do. Something about that plus Rio runs in the next episode's title, plus just like, I don't know, the necklace and stuff. We still don't know what the deal is with that. And it feels like a quest item. It feels like a MacGuffin that needs to be taken somewhere to do something with it. Or something. I don't know. And then she hides that from her. And then she gives us that crazy smile. There's a ghost. There's a ghost. Okay. Really intriguing bit of dialogue there between Felicia and Rio. Felicia's continuing to strike me as somebody who knows a lot more than they let on, and I would like to know everything that she knows. I would like to pick her brain. I also don't remember who her voice actress is, so I'm going to look it up really quickly. It's Aya Endo. Who is she? Silky in The Ancient Magus Bride. Right, she's Takara Miyuki. Okay, that was the one. I was trying to place her voice and stuff because she's got that perfect big sister voice. I particularly like this shot. I don't like that the characters' faces don't look super good, but I like the angle choice, and I like the choice to be outside of the building in the rain. It's nice and spoopy. I like it a lot. And there are a lot of little things like that that are just shots that are more difficult than they need to be because it makes it more interesting, and I'm down. I'm always down. Okay. And we learn more about Kureha. Kureha is a character that is full of contradictions and opposites. The things that she expresses are the opposite of what she feels very frequently. I definitely don't believe in ghosts. I'm absolutely not afraid of them. Well, she's obviously the most afraid of them. Yeah. And we find out that Rio is kind of similar. She's very similar, just like more mature and not as freaked out and better at hiding it. Which kind of makes me wonder if Felicia is the type of character who was once as gung-ho Pollyanna, rose-tinted glasses-y as Kanata is, because we've drawn this parallel between Kureha, Rio, Kanata, Felicia, right? Was she one of those people who found out about the darkness of the world and decided to be somebody who's like a force for good in it? That sort of tracks, right? You can sort of see that as a development for her character, being someone who is bright-eyed and bushy-tailed like Kanata, found out about the difficulties of the world and put herself in a position of relative authority over nothing, but a position where she has the authority to take in a few lost strays and make a safer space for them. That works to me. I don't know if it's actually intended, but that works as a possibility to me. Anyway, away we go to find a ghost. Let's go ghost hunting. And then this is just a fun moment where Rio's like obviously terrified and just like, you guys go on ahead, I'll send reinforcements and not myself. It's pretty fun. And then everything is completely off kilter. This whole building is on an axis, and we choose to show that with the camera. It's very strange, and it does feel like they're going to tip and tumble and fall off the side of the screen. It's weird, right? So away we go to investigate. But where are we? It's a school. Now, again, we've got this cultural blend of weirdness going on. As far as I'm aware, I don't know of any European or American schools that label their doors this way. That's a very Japanese thing to do. Of course, this is a show made for a Japanese audience. If you want to use a shorthand for, hey, boy, it's a school, putting 2A over a door is a really good way to do that. Fine, effective. So really no problem with it. It is a little weird in terms of the what culture are we from again thing, but it doesn't really matter because we are here to find a ghost. And we find a few more than we bargained for. The ghosts of history, the ghosts of schooling, ideograms, the ghosts of a language, and photos with Serafuku. And from all of this, Kanata ends up in her own space. She also has a really interesting opposite alternate perspective on things. This sort of fits into her Pollyanna-ness. Her there's a positive side, silver lining to everything. Ghosts are good. They're not spooky. They don't possess us and haunt us. It also makes me wonder where Kanata's actually from, because Kureha doesn't seem familiar with this festival or myth. So where's Kanata from? Is she from a different nation? Or how big is the nation and how many different cultural entities are within it? Because a yearly festival to welcome and thank the ghosts is interesting. And she was unfamiliar with the festival here. So, is she a foreigner? I don't think so. But interesting. Okay, chair turns into rat. Oh god. This is nice and spooky. I actually like this sequence. It's fun. Okay, she notices the chair, and we'll go and get it and clean it up for her eventually, which is great. This place might have been a school, yes. Yes, yes. But schools are not this big, even in the capital. How much of humanity is still left? How much of human civilization has been wiped out? Because if the capital doesn't have the schools the size of this one, which looks to me like maybe a 3-story normal school building, like if it's a high school, I would guesstimate maximum 1,000 students. Maximum. That's not huge, in my opinion. So, if the biggest schools in our nation are not that large, how many people are in our nation? How many people are in a large town? Because there are a lot of people in the world right now, and a lot of them need to go to school, so there are a lot less there that don't. Interesting. In the past, there were more people here. There are all these elements. The half erased chalk. Ideas. And I'm sure they taught music here as well. We learn that music is only taught by the military as well, right? Which explains to us why Kanata joined the military. It's her only route to getting to music, which is the thing that she's passionate about, and clearly her most talented skill, because she's got perfect pitch. Even though it wasn't part of the military. I mean, look. I did Google this because I needed to, and why not? I figured maybe it would be a little excerpt from an interesting symphony or something. Maybe from Dvorak's, from the New World Symphony, or, something with meaning. No, it's the OP. It's just a couple bars of the OP. Cool. Chill. Dong. Just gonna check something really quickly. Episode 1, when she hears the necklace for the first time. What's the sound of it? D flat. Okay. That's what I wanted to know. I was pretty sure it was a D. I just wasn't sure if it was the same note. I also don't know if it means literally anything. Probably not. Okay. And we maneuver into, oh, it's not a ghost, it's an owl. I don't buy it. I don't believe it at all. Hello, owl. Now, we do some nice spooky things with the owl. I mean, this is pretty simple for, oh god, it's attacking, oh no. I mean, it's literally just cut of owl moving. Cut of face, ah. Cut of other face, ah. Cut of owl moving, ah. Yeah, alright. And then some fun stuff. But it still creates the hecticness and all that jazz, and that's fine. It does a good job. Okay, fun cut coming out of the door. Also, that the owl is riding across the register of the music is kind of interesting. I don't know if that's intentional. But we pull the gun and we fire because we're the gunner and we're the best. And she misses. Oh, shit. It still injures the owl somehow. I guess maybe some shrapnel or something. I don't really know. I'm the gunner. My beloved, just wonderful platoon. Aww. So we see her vulnerability. There we go. Stop fucking with it. Stop threatening it. It's a sign and an emblem of our platoon. We should keep it. And so we have a pet. And of course, Kanata thinks it's wonderful. Jesus, so optimistic. And of course, she's like, but it was an adventure. And then plenty of baka coming out of Kureha. So he swoops up like this, and that would require shrinking its skeleton, so no? Owl skull. Yeah, no, it's too wide. Nope. Owls have crazy looking skulls, by the way. Okay, but the chair. And morning and another day. More scenes that are the same. A new day dawns. And a new seat for you. You are accepted into the family. We have to assume this is the one that she saw in the building. Which means she went back in alone and got it. Despite her fear. Ooh, it means even more, doesn't it? It does. It does. Aw, Kureha, you picked Tsun. Aw. Okay, I love me a good tsundere, and she is a solid one at the moment. It's not like I did it for your sake or anything. Gosh. And some solid faces from her. And of course, her voice actress does a fucking awesome job. She nails every part of it. From the speech that she has in front of the tank where she hits all the beats from like enraged to just impassioned and indignation and like somber and understanding that maybe she's not quite right, but she wants to believe it. That was good. Okay. So here goes episode 2. We talked about it for quite a while. There's been another long discussion. I'm still up in the air on whether I would want to do like 2 or 3 or 1 or 2 episodes per week. I think so far we're fine on 1. I think we'll just play it by ear from here on out. I am still very intrigued by the show. Not much changed in this episode, but we learned quite a bit. We learned about the tank, which we really wanted to know. We learned about some history stuff that we really wanted to know. And we seem to be building towards some kind of direction-y stuff. It strikes me as if this thing about Rio runs in the next episode is actually like Rio leaves the party for a period of time and we maybe have to go and try and get her back, that could be the shakeup that we need to set things into motion. Things don't feel like they're in motion right now. They feel static. They feel like there's the opportunity to have close conversations and get more information about each of our major characters outside of Kanata. So a Noelle-focused episode, a Felicia-focused episode, a Rio-focused episode, we could do that. But there isn't enough to like drive a story right now. So I'm expecting still some kind of bolt from the blue, something to strike us and set us into motion because it feels like we're static. Interesting. If we were going to do that, I would put it in episode 3. If it's not in episode 2 or in episode 1, then I would put it in episode 3. If it's not in episode 3, I'd put it in episode 4. No. But I'd put it in episode 3. Okay. Well, I think that's all I have to say about this episode of Sora no Woto. I thought this one was really good. There are some elements to it that I'm confused by, namely the ghost and what is attempting to be portrayed here. It's just a matter of confusion. If it was the owl the entire time, we shouldn't have seen the ghost. If it was a ghost and the show is lying to us, then we're solid, but I want more. Other than that, I think this episode was really solid. I think there were some really strong scenes and cuts in it, especially this one. With Kureha explaining everything. And some fun stuff in the bright, flashing, lightning, ghosty place thing. And some intriguing stuff around history, and the guns, and the tanks, and the maps, and the stuff, and there's a lot. There's a lot here. Okay, I think I've done as much justice to it as I could have. Looking at my notes, yeah, I've covered everything that I've got notes on. We're set. I've been Teeaboo. This has been Sora no Woto episode 2. I'm going to end it here because this has been a long-ass video. I hope you've enjoyed this episode as much as I have, and I hope to catch you next week when we watch another one, or 2. We'll see. See you there. Peace. She's Azunyan. The only difference is that Azunyan as a character arrives after the main character does, and this character arrives before. But similarly, they've both been in the industry for longer, if you will, and want everybody to take things a little bit more seriously and recognize the laxness that is around them, but want to keep up the appearances of otherwise. She's Azunyan. Okay, that gives me a lot more grounding for understanding the character. Now, that is not why I wanted to pause. The reason that I wanted to pause is because of the cuts in this shot, in this sequence. And we're going to go through it because I am really intrigued by it. It's these quick cuts. Boom, boom, boom. So we'll have a cut of wide, and then we'll cut to either a quick moment of passionate, impassioned dialogue from Kureha, or a face from Kanata, either one, and then immediately cut back to the wide. This creates a really interesting effect, so let's just watch and see. Okay. Cut back. And that's the one that really stands out, because it's a turning point. And it creates a large visual turning point, right? The entire frame changes completely, right? Because we're cutting away. It's not like a zoom or a closer cut or anything like that. It's a breakup. It cuts the segment in twain. Demo! And there's the echo and reverberation of her raised voice. Click, click. Okay, and then we click, hold, out. Now the tone of her dialogue has changed, because we made a connection there. That's why we click, hold. Her face. But because of the framing, they're not actually communicating with each other, because there isn't enough facing room. There's not enough headroom. Kureha, for example, should be further over to the left if we were framing this properly. Should be like where the pipe in the background is. This should be where the top of her head is, like over here. And then her face should be framed like right here, right? Looking this way. And then same on the other side. There should be more space here than here, right? But there isn't. But they still made a connection. Complete change. Okay. This changes things. They're a genuinely useless military unit. Super useless. Didn't recognize that at first. Did not realize that was the case. But they're not useful at all. Their tank is broken. Our commander introduces herself as the tank commander, but there's no tank to command. It's all... It might as well be an after-school club. So there's this indignation that brews up in the younger members of the crew. But what's curious is this is cyclical. This is the norm. And Felicia says that she and Rio went through something similar, and this reminds her of them. This is how passion for the group is born and spread. Interesting. Also, there's a ghost, and we saw it again, and it really looks like a ghost. And now there are two characters that have seen what looks like a ghost, and it was actually translucent this time. So either we're being fucked with Hyoka style, where there are similar things where it's like, oh, it's a ghost, but it's not. It's actually just a kimono being hung up by the window to dry. Unless we're being fucked with... On that front, there might actually be a supernatural element that we're about to be introduced to, which is very intriguing. Anyway, I wanted to stop this because I like the quick cuts in this sequence. I think they're really, 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 really effective. And I think that's one of the first times that we have stopped in the middle of Sora no Woto and just praised it for an editing or direction choice. I think this is an editing or direction choice, and I think it's a good one. Good job. Cool. Let's go.
早速仲良くやってるようね。あれが